are having health issues, if your brain's in a fog, you just don't feel good, we have help for you today.
This
right?
is the couch for you.
This is the couch for you. If you don't want to change your ways, you just turn the dial. If you don't want to hear it, turn the dial. We have Dr. Bobbie Whitaker,
Hello.
Pastor Melissa McInnes, and we have Rachel Clark with us today. And they are...
Yeah, they're going to help us out.
They're going to help us out. So we've got to know Bobbie, and of course we know Melissa, and now we're going to delve into your life. So
Great.
Well, Rachel actually, and I'm being very serious.
Yes.
Rachel actually has a really cool testimony, and I said this earlier. I wish she'd have brought some pictures of before and after. Her and her husband embarked on a health journey, and actually she started the journey first.
Mm-hmm.
She can tell you more about that, but they have seen such results with making these small changes and doing things differently that your health today is a lot different.
It's amazing. It's, I mean, it really is night and day. When I met Dr. Bobbie, I had gained weight from some anxiety medicine that I had been on. I was suffering with migraines multiple times a month. I had a constant headache. I would buy ibuprofen in the biggest size that I could find, and I had no energy, and I had really painful swelling and inflammation in my feet and ankles to where it was a struggle to get out of bed in the mornings. And I was trying to do things more natural way. It was helping a little bit, but when I met Dr. Bobbie and we got to know each other, and then she introduced me to Moringa oleifera, which I had never heard of.
Right.
Did my research and found out just all these amazing benefits, and that's where I started, and I thought, well, I have nothing to lose, so I'm going to try it. And I started, and within about a month or so, I started noticing some changes and asked my husband to join me. And now he's down 40 pounds. I've lost 30 pounds. Coming up on 3 years, almost 3 years of being migraine-free, and just feeling better at 45 years old. I feel better now than I have in I don't know how long.
great.
So it's been an amazing journey.
Powerful testimony.
Yeah.
wow.
It is. As I told you, I was like, she's got a story. And I really wish she has before and after
Those
pictures. And
pictures.
all those pictures. And it just speaks so much to that it's all about health.
Right, exactly.
It's not about size on a rack, number on a scale.
That's good.
It's all about the health.
Right.
And health-wise, she was struggling, so. Yeah.
Big time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's important to say because so long we've thought it had to do with size.
Right.
Right.
You know, if I'm small, I'm healthy. You know?
Yeah, and that's not the case. And I didn't start this journey to lose weight because I had tried what I thought was just about everything to lose that weight, and it was not budging. And because here I thought, well, if I take myself off the anxiety medicine, then it's just the weight's going to go away. That didn't happen. So when I started, it really was just I wanted to feel better.
Sure.
And then as I started feeling better, then I learned more about detoxing and things like that, and then the weight started coming off. So for me, losing the weight was really an added benefit.
So detox is a big portion of this.
Yes.
It is, for
To
sure.
get healthy.
Yes, for sure.
I never understood the importance of it until I started learning more, educating myself, and realizing that the buildup of toxins in our bodies can cause fatigue, depression, anxiety, mood swings, just so many different problems that it can cause. And now to flush those toxins out on a consistent basis really does make a world of difference.
So when you say toxins, what does that mean?
Oh, well, you think every time you're breathing, you're getting toxins. Every time you're drinking water or eating food, there's toxins in all of that. You talked about makeup. That's exactly right. Makeup, skincare, all of that has toxins unless you find a really pure brand. So it's everywhere. You really can't avoid it completely. You just try to limit, and then, like what you said, go ahead and do that detox so that, and what I like is that it needs to be something simple and that you can do consistently. We do a detox about 3 times a week, and that just keeps all that flushed out of your system. what we do is a tea, and it literally has herbs that bind throughout your whole system. So it's not just a colon cleanse. This is binding throughout your whole body to different toxins. So that way you're helping the body to start healing from the inside out. If you put in good nutrition and you pull out the bad, then the body starts to balance out.
Once again, too, it's the preservatives in our food,
Oh,
all the
goodness,
processed
yes.
foods. That's why the whole foods are so important.
Right.
I mean, that's wonderful
real
that you're
food.
doing that, and it's like
Yeah.
God just gives us that chance all through life. Okay, you can make a fresh start.
Right,
You can do a life
yes.
change. You know, and it's I
Exactly.
think of Zechariah 4:10, I believe it is. He says, "Who has despised the day of small things?" It is those small things, starting small. It's those little hinges that open big doors. And so we can get overwhelmed when we think, well, what can we do? Man, this is, I can't stop
is.
everything and do it
That's
all at
the key
once.
right
But
there.
it's just one thing at a time, and then just start making that change. And then, yes, you
Build
will
on
feel better. But even I think about the toxins, it's just like I was saying the last program, it stores into your fat because your body
Oh, you're right.
doesn't know what to do with it.
That's
And so if you can keep yourself detoxed, you know, you are going to, you know, you're going to feel that energy again because your body's working. It's trying to get this out of there, you know, and so that's why the energy level
Yes.
goes down.
Right. It
so-
goes into survival mode.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, I learned something when I was in Israel. I was talking to someone, and I love coffee. Everybody love coffee? Yeah, we all love coffee. I love coffee.
Also has clothes.
I know, I have clothes that says coffee, you know. Can't do life without coffee. But I was just talking to someone over in Israel, and we were just talking about coffee and how coffee is so different over there, and, you know. And I was like, you know, oh, I drink tons of coffee. And like, oh, so you drink organic, right? And I'm like, nope. I don't drink organic coffee. I have Folgers, man. I don't care what it is. I just need coffee. And but they were talking about how coffee is so, it's got toxins.
Yeah, there's mold sometimes.
There's mold sometimes, and I'm like, whoa, I'm ever learning.
Yeah.
I think that's
That's
it. And
the
it's the
point.
small steps, like you just said, the small steps. We talk about this. Instead of praying to the parking angel that you get the spot by the door, you know, pray that the parking angel gives you the one that's way far out so you have to walk, you know.
Right, get that body moving.
Yes, get the body moving in those small ways, small changes, you know.
Right.
You don't have to go out and run a marathon, okay? It's not what we're asking
No.
here, you
Yeah.
know. That's not
Yeah.
what we're recommending, you know. But it's small things, and I thought, well, I'm going to look into that when I get home. You know, I've yet to research it, but, you know, I don't know.
Doesn't want to find out.
I don't want to find out. I don't want to be told I can't drink my Folgers in the morning, you know.
Yeah, you'd be like this lady on this cover.
That's right. I just don't have
She
time.
can have her coffee.
I love it. I just don't have time for the nervous breakdown that I deserve.
And it's also about making the changes in what we are eating, and that I found that we never feel deprived, my husband and I, because making some changes, and we use spaghetti squash, zucchini noodles. There's a brownie recipe with avocado and sweet potatoes. There's different, I found out that you can take radishes and I cook them up in coconut oil and they taste like fried potatoes.
They do.
They do. It's amazing.
So good.
Yes.
So good.
It's making these changes like that,
Yes.
that the little changes that turn into something big over time.
You know, it's like you're piquing my interest, but at the same time, it feels overwhelming. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
literally, it feels
Yes.
like it's not something
Yes.
I can obtain. I
Right.
mean, for real.
Yeah.
And that's the
have
thing
to-
where you start small. Like, my downfall was potato chips.
Okay.
It was, I couldn't eat just one. It was like I could eat a whole bag. And so I made an effort.
And I still
between-
eat the whole bag, folks, just so you know.
Especially if it's open and you're near it.
Yeah, I mean, I made
eat
the
the whole
effort.
bag.
I'm like, okay, if, you know, when I'm having lunch, I don't have to have the potato chips. It's making little changes like
Okay.
that, and you build from there. Don't think that you have to go out and, you know, do a hard workout for 30 minutes every single
Like
day.
crash course
yeah,
kind of thing.
start little. You know, like they said, you know, don't park in the parking spot nearest the door. Park out a little bit further and walk. It's those little things that make a difference.
Intentional
Right.
steps.
We have
Yes.
these microwave trays for you can make potato chips with real potatoes, and they're really good. And you just
Kale chips are another thing.
yeah, kale
Bake them
chips
in
are
the
good.
oven. I think you and I, we feel each other.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
We
right.
don't cook. You know, I try. I really do. And I'm a lot better today than I was. But I think, like, instead of, okay, maybe I love potato chips with my sandwich or something. Maybe you don't put mayonnaise on it. Instead, you just go with mustard. Okay, because mayonnaise, you know, mustard is more natural. It's more that, and potato chips, I'm going to have potato chips, but I'm going to put 15 potato chips in this little bag, and that's all I get.
Yeah.
You know, start those portion control. Start doing those kind of things. Okay, instead of, I'm at the buffet, so instead of just heading straight to the meat and potatoes, which I love to do, I'm going to make myself have a salad. And I'm going to put the rainbow on my salad. When we were in Israel, every meal you have hummus. Okay, it's hummus every meal. You have hummus, but you have all these vegetables. I mean, I loved it. Breakfast, I had red peppers, yellow peppers, orange peppers, and I just made it a point. Like, I just did the rainbow right there on the plate, you know. And I ate the rainbow, and so you know, things like that. Just small changes that work for you. I mean, if you put the sweet girl that did my makeup for the show today, she's real sweet, and she had a cinnamon mint in her mouth, and I said, "You smell like cinnamon. I like that," you know. So we were talking about Jolly Ranchers. We like Jolly Ranchers cinnamon fire. I love them. They're awesome. Yes, I know they have sugar in it. Okay? And I was telling her about how I haven't had one in a really long time, you know. And she's like, "Oh, I used to eat a whole bag of these once a week. I'd go through a whole bag." And she's like, "I've just started cutting that down." And then the other thing she told me was like, "I'm cutting my coffee creamer." And she said, "I'm seeing changes on my waistline," you know. And so, I mean, but it was really neat to hear her talk about that. This one, small things.
Right.
Don't despise the small beginnings. You know, those small things lead to big things. That's right.
Yeah, and those little changes, then you see a little bit of change in, like you said, your waistline or whatever, you just feel better. That incentivizes you then to make even more changes. I know with our program, like, I lost 2 inches, and I thought, well, gosh, I didn't try that hard, so what could I do? What more could I do, you know? And it was cutting out chocolate chips late at night. You know, that was my thing that I was doing. So there's so many just little bitty things, like you said. You just start small.
Right. I think what you were saying, too, about when you eat a sandwich, you want something crunchy with it. It's the texture, and that's what we're used to doing. So if you have veggies, maybe carrots, or when you go down the chip aisle, there are some natural that are vegetables, you know, that are organic, that you just want that crunch with it. And then, like you said, if that bag is open for me, my hand's in it, and it's like I've always been taught to clean your plate because I was raised in a big family, you know? And so I'm going to finish that bag. It's like, okay, well, there's just a few left. And so I think, too, we're on the move, and we're just, I don't know, hyper or whatever. We're moving. And I think, too, is just the portion control. Just put the bag up. And
that is so
I never
true.
thought about the texture thing.
It is, because with me it is. It's soft and then crunch.
Sometimes radishes can do that. Like,
I worked with a lady back home where I'm from, and she lost 45 pounds. And she went from eating a whole sandwich to a half a sandwich.
Right.
Okay? She cut mayonnaise off of it. You know, I mean, like, she did what she needed to do for her. And again, you need to research out what's good for you. And what, you know, you may like mayonnaise and eat mayonnaise. That's good. I like mayonnaise. But for her, you know, she cut that out. And then she added in cauliflower and carrots. That was her chips. Instead of her chips, it was cauliflower and carrots. She just wanted
munching that we have.
She wanted that. And so that's what she did. Now, you know, every once in a while she'd have chips, you know, just because you can't deprive you know, you can't deprive yourself. It's better to find a healthy substitute. But you can't deprive yourself either.
I still have potato chips every now and again. I mean,
Me too. Had some last night.
Kind of like treat yourself, right?
But I know that I'm not where I was. I know that I can control it better now, and I'm good with a few, and I'm like, okay.
Portion controls everything too. And cleaning your plate. My husband was right. You know, eat everything that's on your plate, and that's good. I mean, you know, that's good, but that's also, if you have the wrong things on your plate.
Right.
We're going to leave it there.
Right, yeah, exactly. More plants.
I want to go back to this thing with I thought, excuse me, pistachios were good for you.
I did, too.
Yeah. Pistachios and, like she said, corn and peanuts tend to have mold issues, and molds produce toxins, and a lot of those are, there's research, like she said, do your research, that shows that those are related to cancer. So just be real careful.
I think, I'm sorry, it's eating God's food and not man's food. You know, and once again, the 80-20 rule. It's not like you're just so rigid, I can't eat that, especially if, well, as being in ministry and pastors, or if someone invites you to dinner and they've made a fabulous dessert.
Yeah.
You eat what's set before you, and then I just drink apple cider vinegar afterwards. I just clean it out, balance the sugar and everything. But I think the important thing is that it's balance and everything. But it's God made, and so if God made pistachios, He made peanuts, and so I think if we're if it all depends on how they're
in moderation.
It's all in moderation.
The problem is you're saying is how they're stored now.
Exactly.
In the
I try
corn
to get
and the
organic. If I still eat peanut butter every once in a while, but I try to eat like organic or the thing about peanut butter. This is what got me. Sugar. Sugar's in peanut butter, folks. It's on the ingredients. Never knew. That's why I can eat it by the spoonfuls.
Have you ever had organic peanut butter? It's like, oh, what? It's like just smashed peanuts.
I know it is. And you guys keep stirring the bottle, but hey, I get my peanuts in.
Well, one of the other things you guys are big on. Well, did you have a question?
Well, I was thinking this in your when people come in. Do you guys have like a list of something that says good alternative for? Because if you tell me to take it away, then I need to know what to
replace
substitute with.
Okay.
Yes, for sure. We go over that. Like you were saying, instead of pasta, we do a lot of spaghetti squash, zucchini noodles. There's even a sweet potato noodle. So, you can do all those things. And we tell people at the beginning, if you crave, pasta and bread and things like that, then just cut back to half your normal portion size. Take those things to breakfast and lunch. And as you don't crave them as much because you're nourishing your body better, then you can start substituting. And that's how we make those little changes over time. We tell them it's going to take a good 2 weeks to really get into this healthier eating habit.
Something I've learned recently is extra virgin olive oil, because I knew it was good. Of course, it's full of vitamin E and it's monounsaturated fats.
Yeah.
But how sugar causes inflammation, the extra virgin olive oil takes away the inflammation.
Reduce it,
And so they say 2 tablespoons a day of that. So it's like, okay, another something I'm adding. But you know what I
use
start
that in my
doing
detox bath.
with the spinach leaves and the grape tomatoes, and pour the 2 tablespoons of
There you
extra
go.
virgin olive oil, a little bit of maybe Tony Sashers on it.
Add in
and
some
it's good.
slivered almonds.
The organic,
around these people.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's amazing
Not
because,
loving this.
well, I hurt my knee just walking it, stepping in a pothole or something, and so I've had some aching with it. And then talking about the essential oils, I heard about the myrrh and the wintergreen.
Right.
And I immediately could tell the difference, but then I started the extra virgin olive oil in my diet, and I mean, it's doing great now. But
That's
the Bible says we're destroyed for the lack of knowledge, so we're getting some knowledge today, of things we can do differently.
I think, too,
Feel better.
What you said is so true. It can be overwhelming.
Yes.
It really can. And to think, oh my goodness, I have to make a complete lifestyle change. Oh my goodness. And like you said, when someone invites you over to dinner,
That's right.
I'm going to be eating it. I need to eat what's set before me. And I do. I mean, I always do. And that's, and I have cheat days. I have cheat moments, so those are my cheat moments. Those are my cheat, and I like it, I don't want to lose those cheat moments, But a good thing to do is maybe to get on Pinterest and just find okay, breakfast foods this week. I'm going to try to do something different for breakfast.
That's good.
And
And that's what I'm looking for, a start point.
Just this week, I'm going to try something different for breakfast. I'm going to, the other day, I sauteed sweet potatoes with some olive oil, and all that, and I got them down to where they were, tender. And then I put all that in a blender, and I added in some unsweetened vanilla almond milk, and I added in some almond butter. And I pureed that, and then I put cinnamon on top of it, and I added in some pecans on top. I thought, oh man, this is not enough food. I am going to be so hungry. I couldn't even eat half the bowl. Because when it's natural, when it's healthier, you find that you don't eat as much. Okay? But I'm trying my breakfast this week. I'm trying different for breakfast this week. That's my starting point. Maybe for you is I'm going to try to change out my snacks this week. Just this week.
Right.
I'm going to reach for peanuts, or I'm going to reach for pistachios, or I'm going to reach for cashews or almonds, and forget about pistachios and peanuts not being the best for you right now, or whatever. Forget all that. Just if that's what you like and that's what you can eat, and it takes you from eating that versus a Snickers bar, it's all good.
Yeah. That's good.
Or a Mars, or whatever. My vice is Snickers. I eat Snickers all the time.
Well, it's like dog food or cat food. There are so many different types that you can buy, and of course the most expensive is the healthiest, but it's because all the cheap kind is full of fillers. And so there's even fillers in our processed food.
Good word. Yeah.
And so that's also why you would feel unsatisfied, and then you're hungry again, and so that it makes a lot
And
of
to me,
sense.
I could say processed foods. Me, I just like call it out. I'm like, yeah, I eat the Snickers. I eat the Snickers all the time. Like, that's what's in my diet.
Well, one of the things you guys are big on is
So bad.
essential oils. Let's talk about that. Melissa loves her essential oils.
I do.
We all love our detox baths. I think we're big into that. But you know, it even helps you emotionally. You've had a long day at work. You take your Epsom salts and a few of your favorite essential oils, and there are specific recipes too that you can get off of Pinterest or you can get from us. But it's good for your emotionally to just relax, and it's amazing what those essential oils. You know, have you guys tried them? Just smelling orange oil.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just smelling like an orange oil will uplift you, and it's amazing how that little thing, you're like, no way.
How much would you put in the bath?
Oh goodness, probably 5 or 6 drops of each one, you know, depending on how many, you know, you've got. But I'll do like 5 different oils in there and do 5 or 6 drops.
Which ones do you like?
Oh goodness, I love marjoram and eucalyptus, peppermint, lavender, orange, you know, all of those are.
So you put a drop of each in there?
I do 5 or 6 drops.
And for me, I mentioned when I had gained my weight, it was a lot from the anxiety medicine I was on that I don't take anymore, and I turned to essential oils to help with that. So I had a blend of oils that were for me, that I carried a roller bottle around with me, so I knew if I felt that anxiety coming on, or if I knew that I was going into something and that was going to cause me anxiety, then I use the oils, and that is what's helped me. And so a day doesn't pass that I don't use essential oils. I have a diffuser by my bed with oils. I love putting them on the bottoms of my feet at night.
So what's good for anxiety?
Well, everybody is a little bit different. The oils that we use, there was one called Determination, Pure Tranquility, and then I added frankincense in with that. So it's a mixture of different oils. And so it's really about finding what works for you, because what works for me, you may find that, you know, something else works a little bit better for you. But I did find that adding frankincense is very grounding. So in the beginning, when I started doing this in the mornings, I would take frankincense and apply it to the bottoms of my feet and the back of my neck, and just gave me that sense of calmness when I was going out to start my
That's
day.
amazing to me.
Yes. We had a lady in our church that she dealt with migraines really bad, and so she was telling me that she put myrrh. She had heard about the essential oils, and she put myrrh just at the back of the base of her head and neck, and in her temples, and wherever she was hurting the most, and within seconds the migraine went away.
Wow.
And so, I mean, that's when I said, well, I'm going to get some for my knee, and it really, really worked. It's amazing how concentrated and how powerful that is, the punch, I mean, to heal, because frankincense and myrrh is really for pain too, isn't it?
Yes. And I mean, my husband, he has a diffuser and a set of oils in his office that he asked me to get for him. And so he'll text me and he'll be like, you know, one of the guys has back pain. Which oil should I use? And,
Oh my God.
I'm saying,
The
I'm
guys
just
are
like,
jealous of him, aren't they?
yeah,
They come over to his desk.
They go to his office. He is like, it's so peaceful in here.
And then there's where I work, you know, like, guys walking in my office are like, what are you spraying today? I found one for
they can't appreciate it, right?
They don't appreciate it at all, you know. I love twisted peppermint, like anything that's like
too.
peppermint
That's my
smell.
favorite,
I love
yeah.
peppermint. And so this past Christmas, I found I think it was like 5 drops of lang lang,
Yes.
2 drops of peppermint.
You got me started on
Smells like a
that.
peppermint
Yeah.
overload in your house. It was
Yeah,
great.
but it's good. It's really good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lang Lang's good for joy too.
Yes, lang lang.
Okay, so I can just go to, you know, some kind of store and get some oils. I could just go anywhere and get them? No?
I don't really recommend that.
All like, no.
Health food store, like a health store. Is that different?
I'm gonna leave that question to the professionals.
like you said,
I
do your
know.
research. There's a website I think is wonderful, amayodifference.com, and there's probably other ones too. But what I love about that is, you know, that particular brand of oils, they have a batch number on the bottom, and you can put that number right into that little spot, and it'll show you all of the research that was done on that batch of oils. So they're constantly researching those, and they show you how they permeate the cell and how they are active and live within the cell, and how they're pure. So that's the main thing. You don't, especially I use them on my 6-year-old little boy, and even when he was little and a couple months old, we used them. So I wanted to make sure they were definitely pure. You need to know that. Right. Especially if you're thinking of ingesting them. You know, sometimes we ingest them to help our immune systems.
Yeah, there again, do the research. There are a couple of 2, 3, 4 maybe companies that are pure or that they're safe. And
And just reach out to somebody that really knows about the oils and ask the questions.
Get help.
Because you don't want to put that in your body.
No.
And
And
all
get
of
a
that
good
just
book. Get a
Yes.
good, like Dr. Scott Johnson has a great book on, I think it's called Evidence-Based Essential Oil Therapy or something like that. And it's
amazing.
wonderful because then you just look up what you've got going on, and there's recipes. And like she said, not everything is going to work the same because all of our body chemistry is different.
Absolutely. And what doesn't work for your body may work for mine. You know, again, there's things I've cut out of my diet, but there's things I've kept in. I just admitted to one.
I love you, Melissa.
Yeah, I'm like, pass a candy bar. Just say it.
It's okay, you don't have to be so rigid.
Right.
You don't have to be rigid.
Yes.
I mean, I use the little snack things. Thank God for Mars Company and the M&M Company and all them coming up those little snack things. Those are nice to have.
Makes
like,
you accountable.
I know, exactly. I'm like, oh, here's the Snickers bar, here's a Milky Way bar.
Just don't give me a bag of the little ones.
And I don't drink diet soda anymore. I don't, right? I said that, right? But a good Coke every now and then ain't bad.
I think regular soda is just so sweet. I don't.
Oh, don't even. The Coke has this new one out that's got stevia in it. Oh.
So what? Okay, real quick. What sweeteners are okay? You said
good. Stevia. Stevia
Okay.
is good, but look for a good brand because, you know, Sweet Leaf is a great brand.
I use monk fruit sweetener.
Yeah, and raw honey.
raw honey.
Little bits of raw honey.
And you know what? Every once in a while, like if they don't have anything else on the table and I need something, I'll grab an artificial. I mean, I'll grab one, but I try
Not to. I
try not to.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Well, thank you so much for all this great information. Patricia's not loving me for having you, but it's okay. Some of you out there can.
We've had fun.
Thanks for joining with us. See you next time.